All right, hey guys. So I actually found a clip of me pitching against one of the players in Croydon Pirates, and this is probably one of my most favorite at bats. So I just want to break it down. Now, I don't remember which inning this was. I think it was the second to last or the last inning. We were up by I think 4 runs, so I just needed to, keep the inning scoreless. But here's the situation. So we got runner on first and second, 2 outs, and I'll show you the entire at bat.
Look him, look him!
Yeah, there's a balk. All right, so here's the first pitch. Fastball a bit inside. So what my fastball tends to do is actually just kind of runs. Even if I grip a four seam, it still runs a little bit. So I just decided, fuck it, I'm gonna grip it in a two seam fastball grip and just let it rip. So I was actually aiming a bit inside, more inside around the strike zone, but I just kind of missed my spot. He jumps out of it, makes it look a lot worse than it actually is, but here's a ball. So what I was actually trying to do is he was really leaning into it and he was somewhat crowding the plate. He's a little bit lanky, so of course that kind of just makes it look as if he's really crowding it. But regardless, I just thought, okay, if I go inside, and the worst that can happen is just fucking really dink it, get off the handle and get him jammed anyways, because it runs. So, that was ball one. Second pitch, so knuckle curveball. So we were trying to play off that inside pitch as well, so we want to keep everything inside. So, it starts off a little bit higher, basically just kind of going touching the inside edge, ending up on the bottom, ending up on the floor. I That was my intention, and that was what my catcher was signaling as well. So it was quite a good execution. The reason why I didn't want to stick to the fastball is just because I just wanted to play around with the speed differential because during that time, my control with my fastball wasn't so great. So I knew I had to rely on my slider. And since my slider and my knuckle curveballs, they do have somewhat of a similar movement, I just decided, okay, we need to introduce the speed differential because I can't be sticking with one pitch the entire at bat. And so, here I'm battling back and I got a strike off it, so it's 1-1. Now here's the slider. I really like that one because, slider, you just hear the pop of the mid as well. It just made me feel so good about myself. Um, Similar thing, but since if he could see the spin of the ball, then he would recognize the fact that it's gonna move. It's gonna be a breaking ball. So I started to just start around the same area, inside edge, but with a different movement. So if he was to think it's a curveball, then he would drop the bat. The worst that could happen is probably a pop fly, but as you can see, beautiful swing and a miss. Um, but the thing is, well, he was on top of it. So what I'm thinking is he recognized the fact that it was a little bit faster. It came off my hand a little bit faster than my knuckle curveball. So he thought, okay, it's got to be a fastball. So he was just kind of aiming for that same plane that it started off in. So now I'm batting black. Now it's 1-2, and you know, fourth pitch. Now I love that pitch as well. because of just because of the sound it makes, not because of the location. So what my catcher loves is, two strike count, high fastball, get him swinging. I definitely put it up a little bit too high. If you look at it, it was, yeah, just basically head height a little bit higher than that. He wasn't really going to swing for it, but, you know, given the fact that my control of my fastball, given the fact that my control of my fastball wasn't too amazing, it was what it was. It was worth giving it a shot anyways. And here's my last pitch. There we go. So if you can kind of, as you can kind of see, it almost seemed like it was floating and then just kind of dropped down to nowhere. Um, I'm not sure exactly where my what my catcher was thinking, but I knew I wanted to go back to the knuckle curveball because I could rely on it. So I just thought, okay, since we sticked around the inside edge for the most of the part of the at bat, now I want to, change his eyesight, make him go the other way, and try to aim for the outside as well. If the knuckle curveball starts a little bit um, towards, up and middle, then he would probably swing for it. So, let him just end outside of the strike zone. Great thing that he swung as well. If you look at it, it was just nowhere. Well, it wasn't nowhere per se, but it was just, it was out, definitely outside. It was definitely a ball. So it's a great thing it ended that way. Now, one thing I want to talk about is actually the difference between these two knuckle curve balls. Because if you look at that, it's got a lot. This one has a lot more of a vertical movement compared to the last pitch, which was like a slurvy knuckle curveball. So what I actually really do with my knuckle curveballs is I don't really understand how I do it, but I just try to change my wrist angle and my arm action so that I can change the depth and the lateral movement of it. And so, whereas the 1-0 knuckle curveball, I just wanted to, just actually make it a swing and miss kind of thing, and just try to fight back as well. My last pitch, I wanted to give a little bit more of a lateral slurvy movement, just to really ensure the fact that even if it went off the tip, it would just go to the first baseman. It would not be a strong contact given the fact that this knuckle curveball had a lot less speed. And so, it worked out really well. So that was my analysis of my at bat. Hope you guys enjoyed it.